In this video, I'm going to talk about how to transition between different scenes while your game is running. It's relatively easy and straightforward. You really just need to know when do you want to transition scenes. So for this video, let's hook up this second button that I have here to switch to a different scene. I'm going to rename this button to change scene. And in the on click for this button, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to notify my game manager inside the flow machine, inside the visual scripting. I'm going to trigger a Unity event called change scene, just like this. Now I'm going to go back to my game manager object. I'm going to edit the graph here, and I'm going to create a new Unity event called change scene. And what I want this to do is I want to load the second scene that I have here. So currently I have scene 2 open, and I want to load this one, the start scene, which here is actually pretty empty. I'm on 2D mode right now. So let's align our main camera to it. Game object, align with view, just so it'll look like this when we load. Cool, good enough. Get rid of that main camera. Yeah, it'll look like this when we load, so we'll know that it's actually loaded. Hop back here to my other scene. Okay, go to my game manager, edit graph. Now, the unit that we're looking for is called load scene. Pretty self-explanatory. And there's really two different ways that you can do this. You can do it by the name of the scene, or you can do it by the scene build index. Let's start just by hooking it up to the name of the scene, and then I'll come back here and talk about some of these other options. So, punching in the name of the scene, it's called start scene. Just like that. And now let's test this. All right, I'm going to click my change scene button. That should notify my game manager, tell it to load the next scene. Excellent. So it couldn't be loaded because it's not been added to the build settings, or the asset bundle has not been loaded. So to correct this, I need to go to my edit window, or my edit menu, and I have to go to build settings, which is actually under file. So file, build settings. And then here, there's this scenes in build. We have to make sure that all the scenes that we want to be in our game are added into this list. You can add them into it just by clicking and dragging and dropping, or you can click this add open scenes. So now my start scene and scene 2 are both added in here. All right. Close out this window. Let's go test it again. All right, change scene. Perfect. There we go. So this is a transition between different scenes. Now, the other options that we had for units there in our visual scripting, right, when we search for load scene. Scene name is relatively straightforward. There's also one that goes by scene build index. The scene build index is, if we go back to that build settings, it's this number right here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is good if you want to sort of reorder the scenes that are in here and you have a bunch of different levels and you want to say go to the next scene. You could say go to scene number 6, go to scene number 7, go to scene number 8, and then you can come in here and you can reorganize them. If you want to go to a specific scene, the main menu, the swamp, the forest, then it's probably better to load it by name. So totally up to you on how you want to load or pick which scene you want to go to. The other options here, this load scene async, this essentially has Unity load the scene asynchronously, which means that the scene that you're currently in still runs and plays while the other one is loading. This is basically the default that you want to use when you have really big scenes that take some amount of time to use. If you have a loading screen, your loading screen would be its own scene that you would load. And then the loading screen would load a really big scene that takes time to load asynchronously behind the scenes. So, or in the background, as you might say. Anyway, so this is how you load different scenes. This is how you transition to different levels. This is how you hook it up to buttons. Relatively simple and straightforward.